We first met Cassidy Hooper in March 2008. She was 12. Months later, she invited us to the first of many surgeries to get a nose.
I would like to be able to breathe through it.
We've watched Cassidy grow up, and this past year reported excitedly when her medically created functional awesome nose was almost complete.
Does it hurt?
Not as bad. No, it's tender.
We always put our stories of Cassidy on WBTV.com. I post those story links on my Facebook page. It was there on Facebook. A woman in Washington State, 3,000 miles away in a one-stoplight town, saw this inspiring Charlotte girl.
At least 10 or 15 times people would send me one of your stories and say, "Have you seen this girl?" Oh, yeah, you have. That's exciting.
Melissa Tanhill is a 30-year-old mother of 7. She and her husband recently adopted their youngest 2 from the Ukraine, Woody and Katerina, known as Katie. Katie had a rare condition. She was born with no eyes and no nose.
When I first saw her, I was really just in awe that she had survived in an orphanage.
As any mom might when seeing such a condition, she had questions for an adoption clinic doctor. Then, the stories about 17-year-old Cassidy came across her Facebook feed.
We saw how well Cassidy was doing and all that she was doing and all that she was going through and how strong her family was, and we just thought it was amazing, and it just seemed really doable for us.
Katie is now living in the U.S. in a loving home, thriving with her big, new, full of faith family. And in another twist of how Cassidy inspires many, a woman from Finland emailed after seeing Cassidy on Facebook saying she had a daughter born the same way. She said the stories helped her realize networking was necessary. She has since started this Facebook page for families with kids born without a nose. Parents from all over the world connecting. All because of a girl who has always told us the secret to happiness is to take obstacles as they come.
I don't need easy. I just need possible.
Timothy Brookshire walks into Levine Children's Hospital a little reluctantly, unsure why so many people are standing around.
They're here to see you.
Brandon Lindsay with the Charlotte nonprofit Dream On 3, a group that grants sports-related wishes to sick children, tells Timothy they have some surprises for him.
Are you the biggest Dallas Cowboys fan?
Brandon first gives a football, then a big box with a Cowboys number 9 jersey, and a suitcase.
Because you're going on a trip. We're going to fly you and your mom and your sisters to Dallas. And Tony Romo already knows you're coming. He already knows you're coming, and he wanted to invite you down to come hang out with him.
Make no doubt what you are witnessing here is remarkable. By medical standards, Timothy should be lethargic and lifeless. He was born with a heart defect, cleft lip and palate. He has a chromosomal disorder that is supposed to be, quote, incompatible with life. And he has a rare form of cancer. Hospice has already been involved. And yet, look at him.
Tony Romo is this child's life.
Mom Crystal credits Tony Romo. When Tony was hurt this year, they got Timothy to try walking with a walker because Tony worked through his injuries to walk himself back out on the field.
Anytime that he looks like he's starting to get weak, we find a way to put Tony into this. We find a way to say, well, Tony's doing this or Tony's doing that. He plays a bigger role in this game than me and my husband do.
Speaking of the other parent.
One more surprise? Look right here.
Daddy!
Daddy? What are you doing?
Timothy's dad is in the Army National Guard. He hasn't seen his family in months. Today, through a Skype connection, he's able to watch.
I know Daddy.
What are you going to Dallas for?
In the Army, Momo.
Timothy and the girls leave March 22nd.
It would make my whole life complete just for Timothy to wrap his arms around his neck and just hold him and hug him.
So hey, Tony, if you happen to see this story before then, be prepared. Getting a surprise hug when this miracle child first sees you,
Sweetie, how you doing?
is way more a gift for you than for him.
2 weeks ago, Lenore's 7-year-old Timothy Brookshire stole our hearts, and then he stole thousands of yours. Today, he stole Tony Romo's, the Dallas Cowboys quarterback. But in a surprise story-stealing headline, Tony Romo wasn't the only person waiting for Timothy when he got to Dallas. It's a story you're only going to see here on WBTV. We began 2 weeks ago where over Skype, specialist John Brookshire with the Army National Guard watched his son Timothy get a surprise dream come true trip to meet Tony Romo.
I know got it.
John's military higher-ups saw that story. They gave John special leave. He kept it a surprise from his family. Fast forward to Monday. Timothy, his two sisters, and Mom Crystal are in Texas walking down hotel steps towards the Dallas Cowboys bus coming to pick them up. They wind through a clap line, hundreds helping to send them off in style. The family did not expect what, or maybe we should say who, was waiting at the end. A publicly intimate, unforgettable moment. Timothy has had 58 surgeries. Hospice has been involved. His mom will be the first to tell you he misses his dad. From here, the family hopped on board to head to Happy Valley. Upon arrival at Cowboys headquarters, Timothy almost instantly walks right into number 9.
Is this the Tin Man?
For the first time in his life, Crystal says, Timothy turns shy.
Which one are your parents?
But Tony Romo is great. He signs Timothy's custom-made Cowboys jersey, then tours the family through the locker room and workout room. Mom Crystal has been trying to make this meeting happen for years. Still, she says nothing prepared her for today.
Dreams do come true. Prayers come true. It happened. He was hand in hand with Tony today. So he got to wrap his arms around him.
What might be most telling happened here at the end, on the field. Please look at Timothy and his dad. Father and son wrestling around like two kids taking selfies at the 50-yard line.
Guys, come on!
Running late to get back to the tour group. Tony Romo is a superstar in Timothy's eyes, no doubt. But it just might be Timothy's dad who's his buddy, idol, and real hero.
Being here with my family is top priority. Seeing them happy is everything. It means everything to me. The words can't describe it, really. It's the best feeling in the world when you can see your family.
All of this happened today because of a Charlotte nonprofit called Dream On 3. They grant sports-related wishes for critically ill kids. It's a pretty awesome group. It's only been in existence here about 2 years, so thank you, Dream On 3, for making all that happen. They also sent lots of photos. They're in a slideshow right now on our website, WBTV.com.
I was diagnosed with ALL, which is acute lymphoblastic leukemia, in March 1st, 2006.
Constant treatments for leukemia often left Wesley Thornburg bald as a child. None ever seemed to work. Then in 2013, doctors finally told Wesley they'd found a last-ditch fantastic hope, a bone marrow donor who was a perfect match.
The only thing we knew was that she was female and she was 19 years old.
The donor herself would remain a mystery. But the actual transplant was just a drip into an IV into Wesley's body. It was a success.
I'm alive. So...
Wesley wanted to know about her donor, only she wasn't even sure where in America she lived. So Wesley wrote a letter and gave it to her doctor. Her doctor mailed it to the donor's doctor, who in turn gave it to this mysterious 19-year-old girl.
Oh, and I love to shop.
Weeks later, Wesley got a letter back sent through the same channels in reverse.
It says, "Hello, beautiful. I am incredibly happy to hear that you are home from the hospital. I'm hoping that everything went smoothly and that you are getting better day by day."
Wesley and her donor started writing letters this way for a year.
I'm not supposed to tell you any specific details about myself.
No names or geographical details.
I love to help people and volunteer. I love to walk, run, or hike.
But the cards would bring Wesley to tears.
I hope you're feeling much better. Stay positive and never give up. Love always, your donor. Stop. Okay.
After the required 1 year of not sharing any information, Wesley got a phone call. The girl on the other end said her name was Michaela Loynd. She was in Massachusetts, and she was the one who'd saved Wesley's life. That was 3 weeks ago. The girls have been on the phone ever since, trying to plan where and how they're going to meet. They thought about New York and Virginia, and they finally decided on a hotel in Winston-Salem.
Hey, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Wesley stood in the lobby, excited and anxious. Suddenly, she started looking around the bend, and...
Hi.
They held on. The hug spoke for itself. Without ever saying a word, family from both sides followed suit. Afterwards, Michaela summed it up perfectly.
My heart's complete.
Kayla's mom then shared pictures, saying the donation of the marrow was painful.
There's an easier way and a harder way, and they said, no, the harder way is what she really needs, and Michaela's like, then that's what I'll do. And
If I got contacted tomorrow that I was a 100% match, I'd do it all over again. Like, this experience has completely changed my life for the better.